Everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Amrita, aka your coffee chapter, and I'm back with the June reading wrap up. So in June, I read total 4 books. Let's see which books I have read and which books I have dished in the June. I couldn't read much because of a lot of things that were happening. Although when I talk about my reading experience, overall reading experience for the June month, it was kind of a mix of, I read 2 ebooks and 2 physical books out of my physical TBR. Yes, I was not able to finish the other 3 books, and I'm here with my prompts too. So here are my prompts. So yeah, so let's see. If I talk about it was a mixed kind of a journey. If I talk about my reading thing, uh, I have actually I have one audiobook in the June, one ebook, and 2 physical books. So that is my overall experience. Now, if I talk, because this is my first time having it, like this is not my first time exactly of uh, going for the ebook option. I have done it before, like traveling or something like that. But this time I have realized that my concentration for the ebooks is very poor. Until even if I'm listening a book while working or something, like doing the daily things, I cannot focus on the ebooks a lot. So in the future, I don't know, I might pick up an ebook again, I might not pick up an ebook again. uh, right now it's a no for me. So yeah, ebooks are out of question for right now. uh, the stories that I have gone through are magical, some are magical, some has given me different perspective to view the things. Some has given me kind of an ick. Some has given me the idea of a daily Indian soap drama kind of a thing, which I did not like. So you'll get to know which books I have read. So I'm having a black ice coffee, although the ice is completely dissolved into it. Yeah. So if I talk about my books, first I'll talk about like the genres that I have read. So I have read 2 contemporary fiction. I have read one, you can say, science fiction kind of a thing. Yeah, science fiction you can say, and I have read one literary fiction. So yeah, two contemporary, one literary, and one science fiction. So this is my overall June genre thing. And in June, if I talk about, I have read total 1618 pages, including both ebook, audiobook, and my physical books. So let's see which books I have read and which books I have ditched because of the things that happened in the June. I have shared it in my story. I have like spoken in my previous video too, like why I have couldn't read the books much. So these are the 3 prompts basically. So these 3 prompts, I suppose, okay. So these are the 3 prompts out over here. Out of these 3 prompts that are here you can see 1, 2, 3. So these 3 prompts, I have read 2 books out of these. This one book, if I talk about this one prompt, if I talk about this book, when I started, I was so excited because I really wanted to read this book for so long. This is like a spiritual book. But when I started reading it, I realized that this book requires more time. It is not something that will finish it off in a month. This book is something which you want to read, but at your own pace, because there are a lot of spiritual things that you want to learn. And with the spiritual books, I like my own time, I like my own pace when I'm reading them. I don't want to be rushed. Yeah. So let's see. So let's talk about the 2 books that I have not read first. I would like to talk about them. So the 2 books that I have not read for this month, first is Days at Murasaki Bookshop. I was very excited because this was the part of a series. I was very excited to read this, but I couldn't start. although it's a very slim book. I thought that I'll read it in the last 2 to 3 days which are been left for the month, but I couldn't get the time to read this off. I already had a audiobook going on, so I really literally wanted to finish that one because that is going on since last 2 months. So I wanted to finish that off. So yeah, this book I have not read. So the prompts which are here, two different prompts of these two books, I will drop them back in my TBR jar so that I can read them again, like they can go back onto the cycle. Okay, so this is the first book that I have not read. This is the first book that I have ditched. Okay, the next book that I have not read is the Dark Matter by Blake Crouch, sorry, the Blake Crouch. This is the book. So I have not read this book too. This is quite a sizable book. If I say it, it's around 400 pages or something. uh, Although I'm a slow reader, if I could have started, and because I read mostly at night just before I sleep, I could have not like finished. I would have taken at least 3 days minimum to finish this book off, and I didn't have time. So yeah, I'm putting the prompts back for these two books that I have not read, the Days at Murasaki Bookshop and the Dark Matter, back into the TBR jar, and we hope that we get to read these books again back someday in the year, or might be next year. I don't know when, but yeah, sure, whatever it is. Now let's talk about the books that I have read. First book that I want to talk about is basically the book which is the audiobook that I was talking about. It is the book Brighter Than Before, written by Courtney Walsh. I'll share the book over here, and I have given it 3 stars. Now, if I talk about the book talks about the second chance. It's a second chance romance, but it is also the giving the life second chance. So the story revolves around two people. What was the name of the Miles, and what was the name of the girl? Okay, sorry, I forgot the name of the girl. I don't remember. In case if I'll remember in between, I'll let you know. I'll explain. So the story revolves around Miles, who is a divorced person, and the woman who is also divorced, having a child. They both got cheated in their relationships. Uh, the woman has she's around 40. Miles is also have two daughters who are, one is getting engaged, one is engaged, and one is in college or some. One is working under him, and he's a landscape architect. Whereas the girl, or the woman you can call about, is also having a daughter, and she's studying in a college. And once divorced, how the woman who has been in a relationship with she was been in a relationship with her husband since like back when she was in college. They were like college sweethearts, gets married, have children, but eventually the life happens, husband cheats. And because she had such a long relationship with her husband, that beyond her husband she never actually search the potential of hers, like in terms of working, in terms of like other aspects of life, meeting with people or anything. Her husband life became her life. So once she gets divorced, she just moves across the city. She goes somewhere else, I think Chicago. She moves to Chicago, she lives over there, and there she takes a new home, and she makes a to-do list for the things that she has not done in her entire life in 20 years, like going on a solo dates, interacting with the strangers, or might be start working somewhere and making new friends, or might be having a dating life. So and on the other hand, Miles, who is also the neighbor and the protagonist, also is dealing with he also gets cheated in his relationship, but he has his work. He interacts with people. He's an outgoing person, but he has reserved himself, like he's not ready for the relationship because of what happened with him. Here the woman wants to go into a relationship. I think Clara is the name of the girl, if I'm not wrong, and Miles. So I think Clara and Miles are the two people, if I'm not wrong. Let me just check the name of the guy if I am not wrong. uh, yeah, Claire. not Clara. The name of the woman was Claire and Miles. So the life takes a very unexpected turns for both of them, where they both meet up. Miles tried to set up Claire with some or the other guy, but they also starts building a friendship, a relationship between them. The kind of a comfort that Claire feels with Miles is not with any other person that she meets on her, like on her dates or with her dates. So the book actually is, if we talk about the book now, so the story is actually giving the life second chance, living the life back again, taking the control of the life that you have missed, uh, doing the things that you were scared of doing, uh, just giving yourself that second chance, that less life, that you deserve something better. So the story is like that, and I've given it 3 stars. Although during the, because I'm very bad at audiobooks, last part I know what was happening, but during the last chapter I was completely gone, like my brain was somewhere else, so I couldn't hear much. But whatever that came in, the story was good. It's a second chance. It is not just second chance romance, but it is also about giving life the second chance, leaving the past behind and picking up a new life, having the life that you wanted, whether it's financially, whether it's emotionally, having a person, or financially, or building a career. So the book is actually good. I think it is released on 22nd of May. I got the book from NetGalley, so I applied for it and I got the book from NetGalley. So yeah, so that is my experience for this one. Now, let me talk about another book. That is the book Norwegian Wood by Haruki Murakami. So this is my first Murakami book, and I have anecdoted it, some parts of it. If you can just see, just some parts I've anecdoted it. Okay, so if I talk about the book and the story, so the story revolves around two people basically. Uh, Watanby, I think, yeah, Watanby is the name of the person, and the name of the girl was, I'm very bad at this. I keep on forgetting the name of the girl. I don't know why, but I keep on forgetting the name of the people in my. Uh, it's really hard. I don't know why. I can find somewhere. Yeah, no, Nauka, Naoko. Yeah, Naoko, whatever it is. Naoko and Wattenby are the two people who are actually known each other from their high school time. Nauka is the girlfriend of Wattenby's best friend, but after Wattenby's death, things changes for both of them. Wattenby moves to another city to complete his education. I think he moves to Tokyo to complete his graduation or something. On the other hand, Naoko also moves to, I think, to Tokyo only, but she's studying in some other university or somewhere, some other college. And from there, their story begins. They uh, Wattenby had a feeling for Naoka, but he resists himself because he feels that she is his dead ex dead best friend's girlfriend. So how can he approach her? And on the other hand, Naoka, being known to his feelings, uh, keeps her relationship intact with him, meets with him, uh, treats him like a friend. But somewhere the lines get blurred of being friends and being something else. Okay, and on the other hand, if I talk about the relationship aspects and other things. Here Wattenby also, if I talk about the male character, the Wattenby, he also seems to be confused and uh, juggling with his emotions, how to express them. He wanted Nauka, but he is also looking for some other people continuously for his physical needs. I would say for the intimacy, the physical intimacy. On the other hand, Nauka wanted Wattenby, but she cannot get over with her dead boyfriend. So the relationship is very complex. If I talk about the emotional aspect, it shows the complexity of the emotions that people go through. Like sometimes the people have gone, but you still keep on holding them, and you really want them. But on the other hand, there's a life which has also been there that you want that also. So you get stuck between the things which have already left and the things which are already there, and the emotional uh, confusion, I would say, not a confusion is the exact word, but yeah, kind of the emotional confusion that happens over there of wanting something and having something. You want someone who is dead, and you are having someone who is alive, but you are not ready to accept the person fully. On the other hand, same goes for the male character also. uh, the main the male character also seems very confused in expressing his emotions. He wanted Nauka. He tells her that I want you, but he's also looking for the other people for his see, the story basically, if I talk about now, the story is actually revolved is about, on a male part, it is expressing the emotions through physical intimacy. That is what the entire, if I just wrap up the entire story in one word, expressing the emotions, fulfilling the emotional needs with the physical intimacy. That is the word that comes into my mind, I think. Where you need something emotionally, but because you're not getting it, so you're fulfilling that thing with some other people through your physical intimacy. Okay, which is not one of the same things, and it is very confusing, it is very depressing. And then every time the characters want something emotion, they go for the physical intimacy with one or the other character, or even with each other. That part I did not like it, because yeah, there are people who does these things, where instead of expressing themselves emotionally, what they are going through, what is there in mind, even with your friends, if you are going through something, you can talk to them. You just don't go and express your emotions out with someone else physically, right? With the physical intimacy, you don't solve the problem with the physical intimacy. Emotional needs cannot be fulfilled with the physical intimacy of with someone else. So yeah, I have given it 3.5 stars. I was actually expecting more from the Murakami book. I don't know what I had in my mind. But with this, I was very excited to read this one. Although it was a fairly good book, my main problem is of that one thing, of that physical need, fulfilling the emotions with, instead of in place of with the filling the void of emotions, absence of emotions with the physical intimacy is something which happens, but it was happening so repetitively in the entire book. I couldn't. And the last line, if I just read you the last line of this book, I don't know what happened. So I just read you the last line in the book, the last paragraph. Gripping the receiver, I raised my hand and turned to see what lay beyond the food box. Where was I now? I had no idea at all. Where was this place? And all that flashed into my eyes were the countless shapes of people walking by to nowhere. Again and again, I called for Midori from the dead center of this place that was no place. I don't know, might be my intelligence is not there that much that I could decipher the part of this entire paragraph. But what happens in this last paragraph, I couldn't get it. How Watanabe reaches to, he wanted Midori, the other girl, into his life, but he's still grieving of Naoka because she's no more. And there are a lot of confusion, lot of emotional absence which has been there. And the last paragraph, I couldn't get it. What happened with the story? Either there is problem with the translation, or either I'm not getting it. I don't know what it is, but here it is what it is. So yeah, I felt like I was might be expecting something more, but it didn't happen. So yeah, whatever. Okay. Now the next book is an ebook which is called "We Are Not in a K Drama." I don't remember who the writer is. I read it in the form of ebook. It is around 564 pages, It is a contemporary romance, and for a contemporary romance with this kind of a story, it is too much to read. First of all, I've given it 2.775 stars. I think if I just think now, I might have given even lesser, might be 2.5, something like that. Okay, so the story revolves around Ho Jin Mi and Clara. Clara, I guess. Yeah, Clara. So Ho Jin Mi is a K-drama actor, is a famous K-drama actor who happens to be in Paris for his shoot, and Clara is an makeup assistant over there on the set, hired by the crew for the makeup of Ho Jin Mi, and she is a fan of Ho Jin Mi, Ho Min Ji, I think Ho Min Ji, and she gets starstruck when she sees him. But there's some confusion happens, and they have some miscommunication that happens in the initial episodes, initial few pages or few chapters that's there. But there's attraction, there's a pull. Few episodes still there because I'm a K drama paglu. I have seen a lot of K dramas and C dramas, so I know like how the story goes. Initial few chapters were like the K drama, like this beautiful scene, beautiful things going on, and then boom, I don't know what happened with the story. The story just went downhill. It became like an Indian soap opera, which is getting dragged and dragged and dragged and dragged. It was just getting dragged a lot. I don't know what to say, but like where Ho Min Jae is fighting his own survival things, where he has been forced to move out from the K drama and take over the the K drama thing that he was doing and move to the family business. He was being pushed by his father, and he's also confused with the Clara, whether to go with the Clara because there will be a distance, because she lives in Paris, he lives in South Korea, he lives in Seoul and she lives in Paris, so there's a lot of distance, a lot of confusion that takes place. They want each other but they can't be together. There are a lot of confusion, and all this entire part of Clara and Ho Min Jae when they were apart, it was so dragged. I don't know why it was being dragged that much. The book could have been 250 to 300 pages. That was more than enough. I could not understand the overall. If the person is, we are showing that it is the plot is set up in a K drama kind of a situation, then it should have been like a K drama situation. It should not have turned into an Indian soap opera. I'm sorry if somebody gets offended by that, because I have seen Indian dramas too. As a kid, I have seen a lot, but it is not something which I will prefer, to be very honest. I was, and then suddenly, in the last few chapters, the story suddenly flips. All that build up that happens, and the story suddenly flips other way around, and they're back together with all those things. That was, I don't know. I mean, yeah, there are heroine, the protagonists. There you are. The story is being set up in a K drama like a situation, so they're supposed to be together at the end. But why to create such a long page dramas? Yes, drama could have been there. If I have to rewrite certain parts of it, I would have not let Hemin J be trapped by his family into the family business, which he never wanted to do. He is not made for that. He's struggling emotionally, physically, everything he's doing his, and he still is being forced into it. I could not understand that part. He should have been fought for his own dreams that he wanted to do. uh, the way then the story suddenly turns from there, where his family is totally against of Clara and his relationship, again turns back, and they also get suddenly switched, and now they're acceptable of Clara. I don't know. The story felt, the links were too much missing. Like there were too many missing. Sometimes the predictable story could be better if it is written beautifully. Uh, but trying to write a story which is unpredictable, trying to write a story and making it unpredictable can make it more boring. Okay, sometimes predictable stories are more interesting. So yeah, 2.75 stars, or might be just 2.5 stars. I would just give it to that, or might be just 2 stars, I don't know. I felt like I wasted my lot of time in reading this book. When I read the blurb of this book, I felt like, oh, this is very interesting. But when I went through the book, I was like, okay, now I have to go through the entire book, and I have a bad habit of not letting the book getting DNF'd. I don't DNF a book no matter how much torture I go through, but I will still finish the book. So yeah. Anyways, this is a contemporary romance that I have read. Now next book is Midnight Library by May Tague, and this is the annotations I've done. You can see there are quite a few. Okay, okay, all right. So if I talk about this book, all right, it stands. Okay, so if I talk about this book, then I would say uh, it is a book. It is a story of Nora Seed, who is uh, giving up on her life because she thinks that she has failed on many aspects, and there is no one around her who wants her in their life, whether at workplace, whether in her family, whether the relationship. She even the cat she was owning, the cat also dies, and there is no one around who wants her in her life, and she feels that there is no purpose in her life to be alive. And going through all that mental depression and everything, she takes her life, and instead of getting dead, she lands up in this library which is called Midnight Library, and there she meets a woman who is her ex teacher, library teacher, with whom she used to play chess, and she's a librarian over there, and she tells her that these, and she sees the number of books she was having, the number of books in the library that was being present, and she tells her that Nora, these books are the choices that you could have made in your life, and your life could have been better. So there, every version of your life which is being present, the decisions that you have not taken. And the first book that she gives her to read was the book of regrets, the number of regrets she was having, and the book was very, very heavy. And the story progresses from there. Now what I am, now when I talk about this book, I am so very happy to read this book. This is sometimes like a good book lands up at the best time. The book knows how to find your way in your life. Okay, so this is that kind of a book, and I felt that every life has a purpose. After reading like this book actually, it's like having a purpose in your life, even if you're not the type of regrets that you feel that, oh, I could have, if I have taken that decision, my life could have been that better. And through this book you see that each version of the life is having some or the other problem, which means that having regrets or have not taking those decisions that you really wanted to take does not mean that the purpose of your life has ended, which means there is something more you can do, or you can live your life in some other way. There is no uh, I feel that the book really tells about that there is no, what do you call it, I forgot the sentence only, forget it. So I always forget what I was saying. So yeah, whatever it is. So the book actually is something which gives you the perspective of life, a different perspective of life that you can live without having any regrets. If you have taken this decision, stick by it and go for it. Okay. Instead of dwelling onto the past that, oh, if I could have said yes to that person, I could have been married and happily. Might be you were not been happy. Might be you would be in an abusive relationship, or might be I could have said yes to that job. Might be you could have been there, but you were in a very, very bad position, having a toxic work environment, and you would be, your mental health would be suffering. Might be I could have taken that. I would have done this thing. Might be that person would have understood me that way better. If because every time the Nora picks up a book, she was imagining the life that other person wanted for her. So that's how the things are. It's always the other person. Sometimes we are living a life which is what the we are always living the life of the other people version. उस उसने मुझसे क्या चाहा तो मैंने क्या किया. yeah, they expect me to do this, so this is how I'm leading. So you are living the life that they want, their version. You are living, you're not living your life of your own version. So at the end, Nora understands that part, and she starts living the version of her own life in her own way, not what the people's version. And things starts settling down. So that's what happens in the real life too, that you should start living your life in your own version rather than living with the other people's perspective or other people's version of your life. So yeah, it's about giving the second chance to the life. It is talks about living your own life, taking the control of your own life in your own hands. Loving the people is one thing, depending on them entirely is another thing. Okay, so you need to and even if the certain opportunities are being missed, it's always not that they could have been good, they could have been worst. They might be looking like a diamond from the from the far away, but they could have been sharp glass that could have cut you down. So sometimes it happens. Okay, so actually I'm really happy to read this book. It is one of my favorite books, to be very honest. I have given it 4.5 stars, and now I really want to read the second part of the book, that is Midnight Library. Sorry, the Midnight Train, which is I think the sequel kind of a thing. I want to read that book now, and I loved it. I loved this book. I can pick up this book any day around the year or any day anywhere, and I would love to read this book again. uh, like the annotations I have done, see, I'll just read one annotation that's almost in the last few pages. It's not what you look at that matters, it's what you see. So these are certain lines which are been there in this book, and these certain quotations which are being so good. And when she thought of her root life, the fundamental problems with it, the thing that had left her vulnerable really was the absence of love. Even her brother hadn't wanted her in that life. There had been no one. Once Waltz had died, she had no one, and no one had loved her back. She had been empty. Her life had been empty, walking around faking some kind of human normality, like a sentient mannequin of despair, just the bare bones of getting through. So these are certain things which shows how people go through with certain emotions if they feel that they don't have anyone in their life, that no one loves me, no one is there to take care of me. Okay, there is no one, nobody wants me, I don't have a job, I don't have these things, I don't have that thing. There is always something which is being there. Stop living your life according to the people version, start living your life according to your own version. I've said a very good line. Okay, so this is the one book. So yeah, this is the fourth book of my June TBR. Now let's talk about this book, which is Yoga, the complete book of Yoga by Swami Vivekanand. I have read, I guess, let me check how many pages I have read. I think I am on chapter 2. So I have marked certain pages. I have read 2 chapters out of it. And when I was started reading this book, with the first sentence, I knew that this book is something which will take time. I will read it at my own pace, because this is something that I want to learn. Okay, although these books also have left, like the Midnight Library has left a deep impact on me, to be very honest. I will surely think about that book again and again, sometime. Okay, but that is something else. This book is something totally different for me. Uh, so I think I'll read this book according to my own pace, and like whenever I want, I'll pick it up, I'll read a chapter or two, and I'll just shut it off then, and I'll learn about that. So yeah, so now if I say, so this is all right. Okay, so this is 21, prompt number 21, that is for the Norwegian Wood. I have read, and this is prompt number 61, that is for the Midnight Library. I'll discard both of them, but the prompt number 35, which is for the complete book of Yoga, I'll keep it aside. I'm already reading one more book at my own pace, and that is also a book which of some kind of spiritual kind of a book which has been there. So that will also go like with my own speed. If I'll finish that book by the end of this year, I'll share which book I was reading. And yeah, for this book also, if I'll finish it off before the end of this year, I will surely share my thoughts on it. And you can just let me know, like if you have read any of these books, like any of the books you have read out of these that I've shared with you. And yeah, if you have liked my video, please do like, comment, and share. And I'll see you in the next one. So till then, bye bye.